If you're looking to invest in property in Australia and wondering how you can maximise your wealth, then today's video is for you. We're going to be diving into something which is a bit of an unknown term, and that's debt recycling. Now, it is a term that does get thrown around a little bit, but a lot of investors still don't know what it is and how it actually works. Now, before we get into it, my name is Nick. I'm a mortgage broker with Kingfisher Finance Group here in Brisbane. If you're thinking about investing or would like to discuss your financial needs, feel free to contact us or book in a time to chat. All of our details are below. Now, debt recycling might sound like a term that is complex, but really is easier to understand than you might think. And when it's done right, it can be a game changer for building long-term wealth through property investment. Now, by the end of this video, hopefully you would have learned what debt recycling is, how it works, and how you can use it to your advantage when growing your portfolio and paying down your debt. Alright, so starting with the basics, what exactly is debt recycling? So debt recycling is essentially the process or strategy that's used of recycling your debt from non-tax deductible debt to tax deductible debt. This is also known as good debt and bad debt. So what is good debt and bad debt? Bad debt is debt that's used to purchase a non-income producing asset. This could be your home, your car, or any other personal item that does not produce yourself income. Whereas good debt is debt that's used to purchase an investment property or another income producing asset. One of the benefits of recycling this bad debt into good debt is the tax benefits. This is because good debt is debt that you can claim as a tax deductible. This is not the case with bad debt. If you're unfamiliar with what tax deductibility is, essentially, if you're charged $30,000 in interest on good debt, then this can be claimed as an expense or deduction on your tax returns. So bringing it back in simple terms, you take your existing mortgage debt, which is bad debt, and instead of just paying it off, you recycle it and turn it into tax deductible debt, which is good debt, which is used to purchase investment properties. This allows you to not only grow your investment portfolio, but also improve your cash flow by reducing your tax burden. Now let's talk about how debt recycling actually works in practice. Here's a scenario. Let's say you've got a home worth 700k and you've got a mortgage of 400,000 and then another 200,000 sitting in an offset or savings account. Some people may look at using that 200,000 in cash to buy one or even two investment properties. While this is a great idea, if you were to directly use that money as a deposit, you'd be leaving a lot of potential savings on the table. The smart way to do this would be to recycle the debt. So you'd use that 200,000, you'd pay down your home's mortgage from 400,000 down to 200,000, reducing your bad debt, then do an equity release on that 200,000 and use it as a deposit for your investment property or properties. Now this would leave you with an investment property that has 100% debt, but this is okay due to the tax benefits. It's better to have that 200,000 as investment debt that you can claim the tax deductions on, rather than to have that 200,000 as debt on your own occupied home. Another scenario I've seen is if someone has a home that has a mortgage, let's say $400,000. They may also have one or more investment properties, and one of the properties has had a good run of capital growth and it's peaked. So now they're looking at selling it and buying another property that can then get more growth in a different market. For simplicity, let's say the investment property is sold and they're left with $400,000 in cash. Instead of using this cash directly as a deposit for 1, 2, 3 investment properties, what they can do is debt recycle. They can put this cash directly into their own occupied mortgage, and in this case completely pay off the mortgage. Then they can redraw those funds in a separate investment loan and use it to purchase however many investment properties they're wanting to purchase. And in this case, they would essentially be recycling all of their bad debt and turning it all into good debt. So building on these examples, debt recycling can be used to help accelerate your investment portfolio and can be used to pay down your existing debt faster. So how does this work? The previous examples show how you can recycle the debt, but the total amount of debt essentially stays the same. Essentially, you're just recycling that bad debt into good debt. But one thing you can look at, as your investment properties become positively geared, or if they're already positively geared, you can use that positive cash flow, and instead of just paying down your investment loans quicker or doing something else with the funds, you can put that positive cash flow into your bad debt, say your owner-occupied mortgage, and pay that down quicker. And these funds that you're then paying down, you can then redraw out and then use for other investment purposes to create more good debt. So as you can see, this can have a compounding effect to pay down your bad debt and increase your good debt quicker, accelerating your investment property portfolio, and also at the same time completely paying down your bad debt. Another thing that's worth considering is your borrowing capacity. Debt recycling can actually increase your borrowing capacity to some extent. So the reason this works is if you have $500,000 worth of bad debt and you go to get another mortgage, say for an investment property, your borrowing capacity is actually going to be a bit lower than it would be if you only had $500,000 in good debt and went to go to get the exact same loan. So even though you already have $500,000 in both cases, the fact that one is bad debt and one is good debt, it affects the total amount of money you're able to borrow on your next purchase. The reason for this is because when you're applying for a loan and you've got an investment debt, the tax deductibility of that debt is factored into the calculations. So that $500,000 of investment debt looks a bit better than that $500,000 of bad debt. So now let's have a quick recap on why debt recycling is such an attractive strategy for property investors. The first would be the tax benefits and the tax deductions that you get with recycling your bad debt into good debt. The second would be the fact that it helps you build your wealth quicker and can be used to grow your investment portfolio. The third would be the fact that you can reduce your mortgage or any other bad debt while doing so. And of course, like any investment strategy, debt recycling comes with some risks if done incorrectly. So it's important to understand both the upsides and the potential downsides that's involved with debt recycling. So before you jump into doing it, I would recommend to speak to an investment savvy mortgage broker, such as myself or one of us at Kingfisher Finance Group, to assess your financial needs to see if this strategy is right for you. It is essential that you and your mortgage broker are both on the same page when it comes to your investment strategy and goals. If the loans are not structured correctly, you run the risk of potentially missing out on some or all of the benefits involved with debt recycling. So please make sure you speak to a broker before you attempt to try to set this up and do it all yourself. I would highly recommend you also seek guidance from an investment savvy accountant. He will be able to ensure you have everything structured correctly from a tax perspective and also give you some insights on the tax side of things. So there you have it. Debt recycling can be a powerful tool to build wealth through investment properties, but like any strategy, it requires careful planning and execution to make sure it's done correctly. If you think this is a strategy that could work with you, get in touch and we can guide you through the process. Again, all of our details will be down below. Cheers.